The sound of the early morning wind rustled through the small tin-roofed house that perched on the edge of the village. Naomi sat by the window, her eyes fixed on the rising sun. She had learned to find solace in the little things, sunrises, the quiet moments when the world seemed still, but the scars of her past refused to fade. Years ago, she was a carefree young girl, innocent and full of dreams. That was before the nightmare. The man who violated her has walked free, his wealth and influence shielding him from justice. Her cries were ignored, her pleas dismissed as the ramblings of a poor girl. The bitterness that followed was a heavy burden, but she carried it silently, determined to protect her younger sister, Amarachi, from ever enduring the same fate.
Amarachi, the light of her life, grew into a beautiful young woman and eventually married Emeka, a man who seemed charming at first but soon revealed his darker side. Naomi had her reservations about Emeka, but Amarachi's happiness was all that mattered. Naomi hoped, prayed even, that her instincts were wrong. One evening, Naomi heard Amarachi muffled sobs as she entered the house. Her sister's face was bruised, her tears flowing freely. Amarachi tried to downplay it, saying it was a minor argument, but Naomi knew better. The rage inside her, buried for years, began to boil over. Memories of her or pain surged back, and the thought of anyone hurting Amarachi was unbearable. Naomi confronted Emeka the next day. She warned him to stay away from her sister, but he laughed her off, mocking her background and calling her weak. That night, fueled by her unresolved trauma and Amarachi's pain, Naomi went to Emeka's house. The confrontation escalated quickly. Emeka, drunk and unrepentant, threatened her. In the heat of the moment, as he lunged at her, Naomi grabbed a heavy object and struck him. She didn't realize the strength of her blow until Emeka collapsed, lifeless. Panic set in as the weight of her actions hit her. Naomi didn't want to kill him, only to protect her sister. But it was too late. When Amarachi found out, she was devastated. Instead of gratitude, Amarachi accused Naomi of destroying her life. She refused to believe that Naomi's actions stemmed from love and a desire to protect her. "You had no right," Amarachi screamed, tears streaming down her face. "You didn't give me a chance to handle my marriage. Now you have ruined everything." Naomi tried to explain, but Amarachi wouldn't listen. The bond between the sisters fractured, leaving Naomi alone with her guilt. The villagers whispered about the tragedy, some blaming Naomi, others understanding her pain. Months turned into years. Naomi lived in solitude, haunted by both her past and her actions. She had lost her sister's trust, but she held on to hope that one day Amarachi would understand. In the meantime, she worked tirelessly to atone for her sins, helping other women in the village who faced abuse and neglect. Though the scars of her past remained, Naomi vowed to turn her pain into a force for change, hoping that, someday, Amarachi would see the love behind her actions and find it in her heart to forgive.